Hello Ali Pallies and welcome back to my channel. Well, today's an exciting day because I've got some new Charlotte Tilbury arrived in the post. And yes, I'm sure that you know what I'm about to show you. Unless, of course, you've been living on another planet.
Or
In which case, welcome to Earth. And welcome to...
the Peanut Butter Jelly Show.
Glowgasm. Now, stop video bombing me, son. So today, I'm going to show you these new products which have arrived. So I have Glowgasm. I'm trying to stop myself from shouting because I'm so excited that I could just scream at the screen. So, this is a palette. And then I've got the three new Beauty Light ones. And I've got the dark palette. Now, I'm going to be filming this over the next day, because this evening I'm going to a VIP event, can't wait, at Charlotte Tilbury's. And so I can show you the light palette as well. And I may even be tempted to get the light palette. We'll see what this one looks like. Just to explain that when I went to Charlotte Tilbury later on, I didn't realise that they had the entire collection available. So not just the face palettes and the light ones, but also the eyeshadow and the collagen lip balms, which are not yet available to buy online, and I ended up getting the lot. So I'm going to show you all of them later on in this video. Now the eyeshadow palette will not be available to buy online until the 2nd of May, and the collagen lip balms won't be available to buy online until the 23rd of May. Although if you live near the Covent Garden store, at Charlotte Tilbury Covent Garden store, then you can go in and they are available there. Okay. This is a very first impression. I have swatched them on my Hangout, but I haven't put them on my face yet. So I've got a little bit of base on, not too much. I'm going to be made up later on, so I'm not going to put a lot of makeup on now. But I want to see what these look like. So let's get ready, shall we? And I'm going to put some on my face. I can't wait. Okay, so here is the face palette in dark, which is called Lovegasm. And just to let you know that you get 4 times 3.8 grams of product, which works out at £39.47 per 10 grams. Now, the reason I'm talking about this is because there's been a lot of talk recently, if you've watched Wayne Goss, about the inconsistency in price. To give you an idea how that compares with her quads, this is £39.47 per 10 grams, and the quads are £75 for 10 grams. So you're getting this for nearly half the price. So although it's £60 to buy, which seems like a lot of money, it's actually nearly half the price of her quads in terms of amounts. Okay, now there are 4 shades in this palette, and as with any palette, because you always know that I say pigment is pigment, you could use this on your cheeks or on your eyes. So here is the dark, so it's called Lovegasm, and I'm just going to show you the 4 shades. There they are. Aren't they beautiful? Now, I'm not sure, when I was swatching this, whether they've got a bit of an overspray. Because I definitely think it feels like one of those palettes that once you start digging down, that you're going to get more of a pigment in them. But I'm not sure. I just feel like that when I'm swatching them. So first of all, we have the highlight. We have the multi-glow. We have the bronze, and we have the pop blush. And it says on the back, a glowgasmic highlight, glow blush, pop blush, and bronze for all over the skin and eye gilding. Brush on the top of cheekbones, temples, inner corner of the eyes, eyelids, cupid's bow, and décolletage. Wet brush to intensify glow drama. Okay, I was just about to read out the French then. So, let's just try that in a minute. Now, I've done some swatches. I'm going to put them on my finger, and then I'm going to show you the swatches in between. Excuse me, I've got something on my eye there. Okay, right. So first of all, I will show you the highlight, and that is here. So that is the highlight on my finger, and then I will show you the multi-glow, which is this one here, and swatch that one on my finger, which is there, beautifully pigmented. Then the bronze. Now the bronze is quite matte, so it's going to be very flattering, and that is the bronze there. And then we have the pot blush, which is here, and I'll show you that one. Oh, isn't that a gorgeous shade? It's so good. I want to put that on my eyes. I definitely want to put that on my eyes. So those are the 4 shades of Lovegasm. All right, and I'm going to show you the swatches on the palest part of my arm, round about here. The next part of the video you're going to see was filmed the following day after I got the light palette, so that you could see the 2 palettes together in this video. Okay, first up, I'm going to show you the face palette that I couldn't show you yesterday, which of course I bought because Tamsin tried it on me and I love it for the day. So let me show you the Lightgasm palette, and this is what it looks like. And look at it with the sun gleaming off it. I'm going to have to take a photo of this before I leave the park. It's just stunning in the light. Look at that. Ooh. Okay, so as you can see, the highlighter. So the highlighter is more of a champagne shade. So I'm just going to put some of that onto my hands, which look really filthy in this camera, but they're not in real life. That's really weird. They're not dirty, my fingers, at all. It must be something to do with the light out here. So there is the highlighter. And sorry, just by the way, I do change, oh, that's my scooter, 1 second. I do change my clothes. This is just an over jumper. So yes, I've got the same jumper on as last night, but I've got a different top underneath. Okay, so this is the highlighter. Now, compared to the dark palette, it's more of a champagne colour. So I'm just going to swatch that onto my hand so that you can see that here. Okay, can you see that? I will put some pictures in between, so don't worry, just in case you can't see that very well. So that is the highlighter. So it's more champagne, and the darker one's got more yellow tone in it. Okay, let me just dab my cheek very quickly. And then we have the blush. Now the blush, the first blush is more of a peachy tone. Can you see? And there it is on my finger, and I'm going to swatch that for you. It's got a bit of a pink undertone, and there it is. I'm just going to take a picture of all these together and post it at the end. All right, okay. And then we have the bronzer. Now the bronzer is pretty matte, just like the dark palette, which is this one, but it's lighter than obviously the dark palette. Now Tamsin was saying this is too light for me, which is as a sculpting shade. As a sculpting shade, I can just about get away with it if I'm doing my nose, or I can bronze with it and it's more subtle. If I do my cheeks, it's barely noticeable, but it's great for doing the nose or for putting a bit of transition onto my eyes. because it's not too heavy, but as a sculpting shade it's too fair for me. So I'm just gonna swatch that there. Can you see that? So I've actually got that not on the darkest, not on the lightest part of my hand, so you can actually see it on my skin tone. You can still see it, but it's not dark enough to really sculpt in the cheekbones on me once I put that on with a brush. But very good for sculpting the nose and very good for putting in the crease if you're using it on your eyes. And if you're fair, it's perfect. Okay, so that is the sculpt shade. And then, or the bronze shade I should say. And then you have your, what she calls the pop blush. Now this, again, sold me this palette and made me want to get this one as well, because this gives a lovely light pink. Now, I probably have got this shade, and what I would liken this to is, in fact, this whole palette, apart from the bronzer, if you take these three shades, reminds me a lot of the Daniel Sandler palette that he gave me. But this one's a bit pink, and I don't know if you can see that, but I'm going to take a picture now and I'm going to insert it here. And just by the way, in case you're wondering how I've set this up, I've got a phone holder on my scooter which I've turned round and I'm sat on a park bench. So there we are. I'm going to take a picture of that and I'll put it here now. Okay, so here's the big question that's on everyone's lips. I know it's on yours. It was certainly on mine until I decided to go for it and get both of them. Which palette to buy? Now, there's a very easy answer and there's a not so straightforward answer to this question. So the one you're looking at now is Lovegasm, and this is the darker palette. Now, the easy answer to the question is, if you're light to medium and your skin tone is up to about a shade 5 in Magic Foundation, then go for the light palette. And if you're above 5, go for the dark palette. That's the easy answer to the question. But that's really if you're just planning to use this on your face and not on your eyes. If you're planning to use this on your eyes, you're going to see in a minute, I'm going to take you over to Lightgasm. There's Lightgasm. Okay, so if you're planning on putting this on your eyes, then it also is down to colour preference. Because this one, as you can see, is a lot pinker. It's a lot better for kind of daytime, more of a subtle look than the other one. I think if you're very dark and you're sort of above a Magic Foundation shade 8, then I would probably go for the dark one. This palette is nowhere near as pigmented as the darker palette. So if you like a payoff on your palettes, then you might be disappointed with the lighter one. It does not show up as obviously as the darker one. The pigment just doesn't feel as strong, but it does look very subtle and yeah, just really gorgeous and gives you a gorgeous natural glow. Now, if you're planning on putting this on your eyes as well, which of course you can, then there is some advantages to the lighter palette as well, in that the bronze shade is a really good transition colour. The pink shade looks lovely. It's a lovely day look. So if you're, I suppose the easy way to kind of sum up this as you're looking at the swatches is to say that if you're planning on using this on your eyes as well as your face, then I would go for the colours that you prefer. But bearing in mind, as you will probably see from this swatch, that the darker palette is a lot more pigmented. They were a lot easier to swatch. The lighter palette is not as pigmented. But if you're fair skinned and you want to use it on your face, then I would go for the light palette. Now bear in mind, as I've mentioned already, that although these palettes seem quite expensive, and they are as a first layout, they're actually nearly half the price of the eyeshadow quads. So if you're looking to use these on your eyes, then you might end up thinking, well, actually, I could get both. But that I know is a big investment. So, and also she's brought out an eyeshadow quad with this collection, which is beautiful. But that's all the information I can give you, really, other than going to try it on in store. But hopefully these swatches will be of help to you in helping you to decide. You will see from the highlighters, so you're seeing them side by side, that the highlighter for the dark palette is a lot more golden toned. The top one is more champagne toned. And then moving on to the next shade, the top one is sort of more peachy pink. The bottom one is more bronzy. Then the third one, obviously the top one is darker. Top one is lighter, the bottom one is darker. And then there's quite a big difference, I think, in the last blush pop shade, which is the top one, the light one is pink, and the bottom one is more of a peachy pink, and a lot warmer undertone. So I hope that's helped you to decide between the two palettes. But please feel free to ask me any questions below. You know I love to answer you. Let's move on now to the next products. Okay, and then we have the Beauty Light ones, which are just like her original Beauty Light wand, except some of them are blushes as well as highlights. So first of all, I'm going to show you the pinkgasm, because I got them all. Okay, and let me just put that on my hand here so you can see it there. So that is pinkgasm, and then I will blend that out so that you can see that. Very pretty. And then we have peachgasm, which is here, and I'll show you that one, and then I'll blend that one out. And again, very pretty. I love peach. Let me put a bit more on that one. There you are. See, they've got a lovely sheen to them. So I wouldn't say they're shimmery. They're more of a sheen. I think Charlotte goes in for more of a sheen than shimmer. They're not glittery, that's what I mean. And then we have Goldgasm, which is here, which is very stunning. But again, it doesn't look too sparkly. It's just gives you that lovely sheen to the skin. Okay. These are swatches of the two, cheek swatches of the two Beauty Light ones after I made myself up later on using the products that I had earlier on in the day. Okay, so hope you enjoy these. This is me applying Goldgasm on top of the cheek colours in slow motion so you can see what it looks like on the cheeks. Okay. So I know some of you were saying to me this morning, you've seen Wayne Goss's video, but I actually stopped myself from watching it until I'd done mine because I don't want to inadvertently start talking about stuff that he said and be affected by someone else's review. So I try not to do that. Okay, now I'm going to, think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try out a look. I'm going to put some of this on my eyes and then I'm going to use some of these on my cheeks and some of that on my cheeks. So I'll do a little look and yeah, so let's get going, shall we? Okay, and here's the final look. Now I did cut out the middle section where I was actually doing this look because there's a lot of products to get through and to show you in this video. You're going to see me going to Charlotte Tilbury. You're going to see me swatching more items. So it was going to make the video too long. So I'll just tell you what I did. I put the Glowgasm palette on my eyes and on my cheeks. And I also used peachgasm on my cheeks and pillow talk on my lips. But I will post that video tomorrow. So don't worry, you won't miss out on how I got this look and how I achieved it. But stay tuned to see further swatches of my visit to Charlotte Tilbury. Hi everyone, I'm at Charlotte Tilbury. I'm about to be made up by Tamsin, who's lovely.
I'm about to be made up. So I'm really excited. I will come back later.
I'm my lovely makeup artist. Say hello. I'm not live, I'm just doing this for my... Hello and welcome back, Ali Pallies. So I'm sitting in the park and it's the day after the night before. I'm very exhausted, very in pain, but decided to come and sit in the sun. Now, I put on the Glowgasm collection before I came out, but as you can see, I'm being severely affected by the pollen. So it looks a complete mess now because my eyes are streaming. But never mind, I'm sat by my mum's, I call it my mum's tree. It's got nothing to do with my mum. It wasn't planted in her memory or anything else. But when my mum was very ill and dying, I used to come and sit by this tree because it is beautiful and it has got the most stunning colour of wood. Is the most stunning colour on the trunk. It's this stunning colour of burgundy and it just gives me peace. I'm not crying, just reacting to pollen. Okay, let's get these products out and I will show you them. Okay, so I'm going to show you the eyeshadow palette. And this is the new Glowgasm eyeshadow palette. Now, some people might look at this first and think, oh, it's very like Pillow Talk. It's very like Exaggerize. But actually, it's not close up. It's on the same colour spectrum. But if you like those two palettes, I don't think you're going to be disappointed getting this one, because I do think it's enough difference for you to get use out of it. Now, the way I would describe this, here it is it's a little bit like Exaggerize, Pillow Talk and Transformize had a baby, because it's kind of a mixture of all of them put together, the best bits of all of them. So I'm going to swatch you those on my fingers, and then again I'm going to put them, I'll try and put them on my arm this time so that you can see it on fair skin. Okay, so first in, I'm going to go with the prime shade on my finger, and that is here. You see, you think because you're in the park that the lighting is going to be great, but it's not necessarily so, although I am facing the sun. So that is the prime shade, and I shall just swatch that here on my arm, and I'll take a photograph of this at the end. Oops. Oh, that got quite powdery then. Okay. The pigeon is after my eyeshadow palette now. Go away, pigeon, it's not edible. Okay, there you go. Sorry, it's very difficult to see in this light, but I will make sure that you can see better swatches of it. And then you have, so that's quite champagne-y as well, but it's got a pink undertone to it. I don't know if you can see that, but it's on my lids. It's got a pink, rosy gold pink undertone to it. It's really beautiful. Then you have the enhanced shade, which is what reminded me of Transformize, in that it's got a yellow undertone to it. Can you see that? So it's very much sort of gold, and I'm just going to put that here. Let me try and turn my arm round here so that it shows up. There you go. And it really works beautifully, although it's sort of pinks and golds together, but they just merge together really well. And then you have the smoke shade, which is here. And now it looks quite dark, but again, don't forget that this is a swatch and you're not applying that with the brush. And I think you would see from Tamsin applying it on my last video that it doesn't look scary at all. So it's a lovely reddy brown colour. And then you have the pop shade, which is kind of Exaggerize, Pillow Talk and something else, just all rolled into one. So I'm just going to get my finger in there and warm it up really well so that you can see. Come on, come on. Okay, let me just swatch that. here. You can definitely see that one. Let me just do another swatch here of this prime shade over the top here so that you can see that a bit more. Okay, so that's the eyeshadow palette. I think whatever skin tone you are, you're gonna love that palette. And I'm just gonna take a picture and I'll be right back. Okay, next up we have the lip products. Now there's two new lip products in the range and they're both collagen lip baths, but this time they're pigmented, unlike Refresh Rose. So the same sort of formula, feel very minty on the lips, but a lot more pigment. I'm just wiping down my hand before I swatch these on my hand. And I've actually got this one, although it's come off a little bit because I've been chewing my lips. But I had this one on my lips a minute ago. This is such a beautiful shade. I'm going to have to show you it on camera. Really lovely peachy tone. I don't think you can see it on my lips anymore. Let me put it on my lips. Same tingly feel as the collagen lip bath. Okay, so that is called Peach Plump, and I'll show you the swatch and a picture of me in a better light. Okay, a makeup obsessive never comes out without some wet wipes and a few brushes in her bag, thankfully. So this one next is called Rosy Glow. Isn't that beautiful? Now this is very pigmented and it looks stunning on, and it's what Tamsin put on me last night. A big blob of it went on the floor then for the pigeon. And I'm just going to swatch that down here, as you can see. Now, if you see a stripe, it's because of the applicator, which hugs the lips, very like the collagen lip bath, the original one. It just collects a little bit more in there to swipe it over your lips. So that is Rosy Glow, and I'm going to put that on my lips before you see a picture. Okay, so prepare to watch some pictures in between, and I'll be right back. Okay, it's now the third day of filming, would you believe? I had to do this over 3 days because I'm just so exhausted. So anyway, I thought I'd finish this video with a little conclusion for you. I mean, I absolutely love this entire collection. What's not to love? It's fantastic. I think the eyeshadow has got to be my favourite all-time eyeshadow. It's just perfect. The shades, it's, for me, it's better than Pillow Talk. It's better than Exaggerize, which has always had a little bit too much chunky glitter in it for me. This is just lovely. It's very subtle in terms of its shimmer, but beautiful, really beautiful. And I think it's my favourite, even over and above Dolce Vita and Vintage Vamp. So that's how much I like it. The face palettes, they're just great. I can't wait to kind of play a bit more with them. Just a little detail about the face palettes. The formula is drier than you will have been used to in the Icon palette and the Stars in Your Eyes palette. And I think that's because obviously they're meant to be used on the face as well. And so if they were creamier than that, as in the other two palettes, they might be a bit more difficult to blend on the face. And I will be doing some looks over the next couple of days. I will be putting out the film that I did on the first day of me using the deep palette Lovegasm on my face and on my eyes. So catch that one next. And then after that, I'm going to do a look using the entire collection. So you'll be in for a treat over the weekend, the bank holiday weekend. So I hope you've enjoyed watching all these, and they all give a lovely glow without looking too sparkly. But any questions, please put your comments below and I'll be happy to answer you. Or if I've missed anything out because I've been filming over 3 days, it's very easy to do. Again, just let me know and I will put the extra information in there for you. Okay, and thanks again for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for more videos, and there will be quite a few videos coming up in the next few days, as I've said, okay, of this collection. Take care and I'll see you very soon.